Brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Steel. Fun papa fie.
Hello there, welcome back here on the show. This is Prime Morning. It's time for us to have a news flash segment, proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise from Papa Pafie. And this morning, Franco is asking you to come through and buy for yourself quality that you would love and an experience of a lifetime. You're guaranteed of that, and so make your way. If you're looking for the latest iPhones in town, if you want Samsung, if you want Nokia, any type of phone that you want, Franco Trading Enterprise says that we've got them, and we've got them in many that you can also purchase from us. Don't forget that if you're looking for that fridge, you need to buy from Franco Trading Enterprise. We've got CCTV cameras that would ensure that your homes are protected, your offices are protected, those places that you value, they are protected, because you don't know who goes in and comes out, especially in this days of, not too sure about who is keeping your child well or not. You definitely want to make sure that you're getting your eyes on that, home that you have, and you can do so anywhere at any time. All you need to make sure that you've installed on your phone and you're keeping your eyes on those properties and those valuable things that you have. And so there are CCTV cameras that you can actually buy from us, so make sure that you go and grab yourself some. Now, don't forget that if you're looking for television screens, we've got them. We've got 32 to 55 inches that you can also buy and put in your room and make that living room a spectacular place to be, all right? So, yes, you can just get them. You know that the match, 1st June, we're going to have the finals for the UEFA Champions League. You want to watch it on a large screen, you can get that screen from Franco Trading Enterprise. It's pretty simple. All you have to do is to just give us a call, 0555-939311, and ask over any info that you need. You can also go on our app, which is on Google Play. You can just download it. It's Franco Trading app, and you're good to go. Our website is www.francotradingenterprise.com, and you're good to go, all right? So it's pretty simple. That's all you can do to make sure that you're keeping yourself connected. And please do not call any numbers you pick on social media, Facebook or anywhere. Just call the numbers that we're giving you. It's on your screens. Just speak to us, and we'll be there to support you or help you get anything that you need in terms of technology, electronics, and all of that. It's Franco Trading Enterprise, still from Papa Pafie. We'll love it, all right? That's what it is. Now, we're going to get into our conversation this morning. Earlier, I was telling you some of the things that we'll be looking at, and I'm sure you want to send your messages to us. Our WhatsApp line is very active, so you can send them ahead of time, and also you can, do so on our Facebook. We're streaming live. You can just drop your messages over there in real time, and we're going to get them. We'll check the front page of the newspapers and what has been reported over there. We'll get into the substantive issues. My guests in the studios, I'll be introducing them to you in a couple of minutes. But of course, if you just tune in this morning, we're looking at ECG actually complying with the cash waterfall mechanism payments, which has given them some sort of benefits. We'll be looking at that benefit and what it seeks to achieve moving forward. And also, the former President John Dramani Mahama has actually hit back on the ruling party with the perennial floods that we've been encountering. He also mentioned that over $200 million was spent in draining Odoba, yet we've not seen any difference. And he believes that the NDC voted into power in 2024 will bring that solution that we need, and they'll be focused on engineering solutions that would take care of the perennial floods that we have in the country. How so? As this, we'll be looking at that conversation also here on the show. So you can just send your messages ahead of time. But let's get into the front pages of the newspapers and check out what has been reported. And this morning, Daily Graphic is here with us, and it says, halting city decline, BOG rolls out tough measures, set up a task force to monitor Forex Peru. And that's on the front page of the Daily Graphic. About Mahama spa over economic at CEO summit, and Ghana loses $1.9 billion to post-harvest losses annually. And that's captured on the front page of Daily Graphic. Minority urges president to construct Paulugu Dam project, and Reverend Campbell, 23 others for made in the ELC awards. And so the Reverend Father has been captured in there. and he's there with 23 others. Now, work on Minerals Commission office in Kumasi progresses, and that's also captured by the Daily Graphic today. At the back page, it says Dr. Indum begins campaign to resuscitate GN Bank, and he's been speaking on that issue, and he's been calling on government to release his license as well. Now, Payheed flash floods dangerous, GMED cautions, and that's also captured by Daily Graphic at the back page today. Now, Daily Guide is here this morning. It says that ambulance case to Forsenberg's AG to drop case, and Baumia dares Mahama to debate, and also Benaj Herbal trained staff. That's also captured on the front page as well. Boy 3 killed in Lewin accident. That's also some developing stories on the issue of Lewin's accident over the weekend. And away from that, let's get into the middle page somewhere. Diza Isaka to attempt GWR for largest skirt. Interesting days ahead. Clemento Suarez cautions artists over smoking, and Fela's numerous wives almost killed him. Sean Kuti says so. That's what the entertainment stories are reporting today. And we have adequate dollar reserves, POG says so. Dr. Addison has been captured over there. Away from that, let's get to the Economic Times. It says government records 2.6% deficit for first quarter 2024, and Ghana loses 54 billion US dollars annually to environmental degradation, says EPA. Government expects 2.3 billion US dollars to support the city. That's also the Economic Times reporting on the city this morning. Keeps declining. The custodian is here, and it says that past allegations trouble Edichim, and 2.32 billion US dollars to flow into economy. Mina Adams says don't rush for dollars, and that's the finance minister speaking on that. Now, Baumia fires up NPP USA to break the 8, and Finance Ministry holds engagement with stakeholders. That's also captured on the front page of the Custodian today. Away from that, let's look at the new final newspaper. The new final newspaper actually says that fireworks at CEO summit. Baumia, Mahama tackle each other. Interesting. Moses Baden, CEO of Margins, adjudged overall best CEO. And AGI Literature and other multimedia companies actually eyes 2 billion US dollars out of 34.1 billion global salt market. That also captured over there as well. So yeah, that's the new finder for today. And so that will be the front pages of the newspapers for this morning. You can grab a copy and read about all the stories that have been reported on the front pages. But of course, here on the show, we're looking at the bigger picture, and the bigger picture is looking at ECG's, benefits that has come, which also ensures that we're able to pay the independent power producers, and it looks like it's a good one. Isaac Kofieje will be joining us via the phone lines this morning to actually speak to us on some of the issues that have come in regards to the ECG, which has been able to comply with the cash waterfall mechanism payment that has also made over 1 billion Ghana cedis in revenue. We'll be looking at that here on the show. And also we'll tackle the perennial floods issue. Mr. Mahama, the former president, has spoken about it, and he's hit government, and he's asking government about the 200 million US dollars investment that was put in draining the Odo River. We'll look at that also here on the show. Like I said, you can send your messages to us. Our WhatsApp line is active, so send your message over there. And you can also do so on our streaming platform on Facebook. We're streaming live. And a big thank you to Franco Trading Enterprise from Papa Pafi for helping us have this conversation. I've got in the studio this morning, Honorable Awonterim is here with us. He's a family, and he's always joining us here on the show. Honorable Ayepe, Samuel will be also joining us as well. So let me introduce my first guest who is in the studio already. Honorable, yes. How's it going?
Good morning to yourself, good morning to your team, and good morning to our viewers out there. It's been the same. There haven't been any change. Cost of living is deteriorating almost by the hour. You buy goods today, and the next time the prices are going off the roof and so on. We continue to have a downward spiral of our lives. And for me, I think now is the time for people to begin to tell the government the truth that they are about. It's our time they pack their baggage and leave. I think one of the biggest mistakes Ghanaians made was to vote this Nana Addo Bawumia government into power. Completely disappointing. They've dissipated all the resources that we've given to them. State institutions are collapsing. And you see, when we say these things, this is backed by data, captured in parliamentary Hansards, brought by the Auditor General. Some are even statistics are from where? Are from the Ministry of Finance themselves and so on. When you look at this and you look at where we are today, that we cannot borrow $1 because of reckless spending, mismanagement and corruption and stealing, then where are we going? This morning, when you were reading your this, and I looked at the fact, yes, you talked about the bank, the governor of the Bank of Ghana.
Assuring that way.
What assurance is talking about? Everything he has talked about is money from outside. Look, how do you stabilize your city based on borrowing? We've talked this in over and over and over again. And he said that what do you call it? Foreign exchange bureaus should not advertise on social media. Yeah. By what law?
Now they're putting tight measures to it.
By what law?
Look at that.
By what law? How can you ban them from advertising on social media in this vast world where IT plays a major role in business? You know that. Is it not conflicting the digital space by which Bawumia is claiming to himself that he has digitalized everything and that we can do that on IT?
Maybe it's a way of regulating the system.
Yes.
Just so we're able to.
That is not how it's regulated. The Bank of Ghana knows that even the dollars are given by the banks to those who sell them. The Bank of Ghana knows this thing. Look, go to those who sell them, the black market. You see them, they will remove the covers of the Bank of Ghana bank stamp on them. Where are they coming from? They should give us a break. You see, it's a disappointment. This is someone who single-handedly printed over 80 billion for this government to spend without recourse to the laws of this country. We are not saying that don't print, but if there's a need for you to print, what do? You go back to the law and request, and they've not refused you. In any case, the majority in parliament is the MPP. We've refused them not to go somewhere, but they did it because it was in their interest. You understand? So the economy, look, everything the Bank of Ghana said is all about borrowing. Just look at these figures. The government expects 2.32 billion inflows from development partners to stabilize the city. Just look at it. They are expecting this to stabilize the city. How does a city stabilizes? You invest the money into capital projects that can pay themselves off and pay off the loan. Simple. This thing. Do you need Einstein to tell you this? Disbursement are expected, okay? Then we go on and on. 150 million World Bank loan following parliamentary approval. That was where we'll be coming to the flag because it's tied to the flag.
Yeah, it's part, yeah.
$300 million under the World Bank DPO2 in the third quarter. Everything is coming from 200 million to Ghana Exim Bank and GCB by ECOWAS Bank for investment and development. Cocoa syndicated, they're expecting it to kind of fourth quarter. You know, we've not been able to do. And all this is about borrowing. The borrowing that sent the city to the roofs. Today was the exchange rate. Over 15.18. The dollar. If you're a business fellow, how are you going to cope with this? If you're having 100, or you now need more, $100,000 to import the same quantities of, of goods that you were importing. The economy has completely been run down. No amount of shenanigans, no amount of whitewashing the economy, because we feel it in our pockets. I will not go to quote anything, but we know how much even porridge is now being sold. How much a bowl of, you call it bowl fruit?
Kenke and all that.
Kenke, basic things that we have to eat, drugs that you have to buy. How about Kuatem over 100 Ghana? So the economy, if you don't have, you see the weaknesses of this government, you see they come with a lot of pride and arrogance. So they fail to even acknowledge and admit that where we are going, we are heading nowhere, and that they should move the people along. You don't do that. You don't run an economy like that. Who does that in the world? An economy that you need to invest so that the investment can yield themselves. And we keep citing just one thing, KMJ and your listeners. Look, the investment we did in the Ghana gas is saving this country $300 million each year. 300 million. Put all their one district, one factories, one village, one dam together, and tell me whether they get $300 million a year. The investment we did at the MPS, you know that, $200 million a year. $70 million has been taken to go and do the Bonkra port, and not one city can be found. So how much is that? That's $500 million. Take the airport, the terminal tray, how much it rakes in. And so on, we can go on and on and on. This is what we call investment, not phantom projects. Yesterday I heard Bawumia speaking. Bawumia must be a joker. He even said he's a joker. That he's a joker. You remember he now has publicly acknowledged that he's a joker. He's still talking about confirm. What? There must be something wrong with this man. Unless he was referring to that, they've done projects and that these are not confirmed. But you are still talking about confirm. When the people want you to churn out your policies for them to help you break the 8, you are still living in the past. You think what won you election in 2016 can still win you election in 2024? Who are those advising the vice president and the presidential candidate for the MP? Who are those advising him? You still can be relying on chalk policies. You still can be relying on, payment of allowances to nurses and teachers that never was. You still can rely on youth in afforestation that for 14 months they've not paid them. People want to move away from those shenanigans and look at a clear future they have for they and their families, for their children. People cannot pay rent. Address that. The city has flown out of this country. We can't get the city. And you are still talking about our confirm. Leave that to the foot soldiers. Leave that to the foot soldiers. You are still talking, a flag bearer, talking about our confirm. Wow. And you have been in power, you have not arrested anyone. You have not prosecuted anyone on that subject. Look at the amount of money we are losing. And the vice president is not interested in that. My brother, look at all this amount of money that we are losing. We've lost how much? $58 million in the cathedral. Ajapa, $12 million. Palgu Dam, $12 million. You've seen it. Saturday I was watching Samson's program. SkyTrain, $2 million. Motor Angel, $2 million on the Tema motorway. We are talking of close to $100 million. You know what can do to an economy like this? Parliament, he knows that sometimes we even approve $5 million, 5 million euro balls. 7, 10, that's how much sometimes we approve. They'll whip all of it, come and approve $5 million. Anyway. So for me, I think that as we talked this morning, the debt as released by even the Bank of Ghana is 658 million Ghana cedis. We've gone to that far. Yet we've borrowed over $30 billion. We can't account for this money. And people want us to clap for them for stealing our money, for recklessness, for sharing the money among family and friends. Within the MPP, they said they are fighting because some of them never got some of them are breaking away. This is the first time MPP is having a chunk of their intellectuals either resigning or apologizing to John Mahama because they were deceived. This is the time we are seeing a colossal number breaking away, and all of them, even the polls are showing that some of them say they will not vote. They are so disappointed.
Okay, thank you, Honorable. Let me introduce Honorable Aipe Samuel, also joining us this morning as well. He's former MP and Yinsuano constituency and member of the NPP communications team, also joining us this morning. Honorable, how's it going?
By His grace, I'm doing well. And you?
I'm well, thanks, Lord. Good to see you.
By His grace, I'm good. Good morning, my brother.
The two of you switched there. I was hoping you were all coming in for good.
I was timing him. I didn't want him.
But the good news is that he's still in African West. So
last week we didn't meet.
Yes, yeah, last week I was out.
You were away down.
Even this weekend I went to the constituency as well. I returned last night, so I have to come, and I came because of your program.
Thank you so much. We don't take it for granted. We really appreciate it.
Certainly.
We really appreciate it.
Well.
Great. So let's get into it. Maybe we'll start with the ECG issue. ECG seems to be doing something good. Now, you know about the cash waterfall mechanism payment, which of course was implemented in 2020 in April. Basically, it was to ensure free and fair distribution of revenues to our independent power producers. They've made $1 billion.
Well, let me first say good morning to your viewers once again and to the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the Vice President, who is on a duty trip to the US and Canada. He will return probably by Wednesday or Thursday to continue with his tour. And also the good people of Ayensuano. I was in Ayensuano since Friday to attend some funerals and some family.
A lot of work.
Let me say good morning to them. And ECG, there's always one thing that I've been saying on air. I quite remember when I was a child schooling, I was still with my mother. My father was at a different location working and visits us on weekends. So my father, from Ayensuano where I was born, Otonase, is about 5 kilometers away from Adwejiri. Okay. And Adwejiri being a popular bread baking community, if you know Adwejiri very well, the main occupation of the people of Adwejiri is bread baking.
Where?
Bread baking.
No,
bread.
You said where?
Adwejiri.
Adwejiri, okay.
Some soon after the day.
No.
They said there's trophy too.
Yes, those days when I was a student.
Yeah, bread and trophy. My mother wasn't a baker, but rather she would go to Adwejiri and take the bread from the bakers. And then we go and sell the bread for commission. And my brother will share the bread to us. We are 3, and with one of our cousins, making 4 children living with my mother. We go and sell the bread, and then we pay the baker and take our commission. So I asked myself, if my mother can go for bread from a baker, bring it back home, then we sell the bread, take our commission, and take the principal or the cost price to the baker. How can't ECG, somebody prepare the power, right? And then Greco will take the power and transmit the power to you.
Yeah.
You, with consultation with the regulator, have a price per kilowatts. And then you know how much you bought it from the producer of the power, the independent power producer.
Yeah.
You know the margins on Greco. Then you put your margins on it. You come and sell the power to the consumers. And you know that when you are transmitting power, there will be power losses.
Yeah.
So you've calculated the power losses before your margins. You sell the power to the consumers and you can't pay the power producer. Something my mother used to do.
And many others.
Yeah. Something my mother used to do. So for me, at times, it is the MPP and the NDC usual politics that always keeps ECG off the hook. Because I don't understand. Calculation is made. If you're talking about power losses, you put it in on the cost before the consumer. Your profit margins are also put on it.
You calculate all.
So how come you sell the power and you can't pay the power producer? That means there's something wrong. Now that we put the fire on them, see what they are doing. They are making a lot of profit. I've heard that they made 1 billion Ghana cedis.
Exceeded in revenue.
In revenue. Yeah. And because of that, they've been able to pay what we have designed for them to pay every year. And it also reminds me of the fact that when people were putting pressure on the president to reshuffle, at times reshuffles bring dividend. Reshuffle, at times it brings dividend. Look at the changes they've made at ECG. And quite recently, the finance ministry, the changes there, it's bringing some dividend that we think the president should consider next time. We should consider how we can. Reshuffle doesn't mean remove a minister or a CEO.
Wow. It took a lot of
that is where we also say that we were not actually happy with the delays, because the general matter was sent to ECG. Look at, it's all about you are selling. Bring the money, the proceeds, take your profit, and pay the buyer. You are buying on credit, as my mother used to do. So it's good news for us. They should continue doing that. We also want to appeal to the consumers, including government. When I say government, the government institutions, to also try and pay what they consume. Because when you do that, it means you are helping ECG to break even. You are helping ECG to be able to pay the independent power producers. You are helping ECG to make sure that what they sell, they get money and pay back. So this is what we're expecting them to do. Without saying much on that, I think what they have to do is to keep on doing it. Next time, we're expecting 1.2 billion proceeds revenue.
I'm tempted to say it's possible.
Yeah, it is. It is. Because I think March or so, they had about 800 million Ghana cedis. Yeah. They got about 900 or so, and this time it is.
It's looking really good.
Yeah, and this time around they're having 1 billion. Yeah. So they can go on and on and keep improving. So as we are asking ECG to do, we are also asking consumers to do
the needful as well. Very, very necessary.
And then pay what they consume, so that ECG can also pay the independent power producers for us to do. I heard.
Let me come back to you in a bit. Kofi is on the line. Let me speak to him to give us a bit of clarification on some of the things that we've seen happening at ECG. Kofi AJ, if you can hear me, good morning.
Good morning, KMJ.
I trust you're good this morning, bro.
Absolutely. How about you?
I'm well. Thanks for asking, and thanks for making time for us this morning. We appreciate you. Let's get into it. It looks like this is good news, but of course, let's start with the exact amount ECG collected in the period under review. What don't we know?
Well, I mean, this is actually the first time that we are seeing ECG's revenue going above 1 billion Ghana cedis since November 2023. In fact, let me put it this way, that since we revised the new cash waterfall mechanism from August 2023 to the last payment made for March 2024, November's revenue was the highest, followed by the current revenue for March 2024. So absolutely good news. We are seeing a 20% rise in terms of revenue collected between March and February 2023. So if you ask me, it's good news. Revenues are now about 1 billion, approximately 1.003 billion, Ghana cedis. And let me put it this way, that if you look at or pair computations from the PRC report, ECG has now collected 2.7 billion Ghana cedis in the first quarter of this year alone. They collected 820.5 million cedis in January 2024, 836.8 million cedis in February, and the current 1.003 billion Ghana cedis in March 2024. So in fact, this is the first time ECG is making revenues about, or even making revenues around 1 billion cedis this year. And it's good news. 20% rise in revenue doesn't come easy.
In terms of distribution, how did they go about it?
I mean,
the revenue.
This is where the cash waterfall mechanism comes in, where it is a pool that ECG is supposed to bring in all their revenues, and all sector players are supposed to take what they are due. And so usually what we see is that under the cash waterfall, in the wisdom of the designers, they decided to categorize sector players into two categories. So we have the level A, which usually consists of the independent power producers, and we also have the level B sector players, i.e., state-owned enterprises into power production, distribution, and even other regulators. Under level B is where you find ECG itself. There's Gradeco, there's BUI, there's VRA, which houses the Akosombo Dam, and other distributors and regulators. Usually what happens is that a lot of priority is given to these level A, sector players who are the IPPs, and they are paid huge sums of money, and arrears accumulate at the other side of the value chain, which is the state-owned enterprise. But this time around, we didn't see that. Per the data we have seen, this is the first time that expected payments met actual payments. And so in essence, there was zero variance. So there were no arrears accumulated in the month of March 2024, payments made for March 2024, and this is good news. If you ask me how much that 1 billion US Ghana cedis ECG generated was distributed, just like you expect, 620.2 million Ghana cedis, which about $43 million went to or was paid to 7 independent power producers, including WAPCO.
Okay.
So WAPCO is the West African Gas Pipeline Company, and usually they are classified under Category B, and they are attached to VRA. But in this payment or this validation report, we see that WAPCO has been given some sort of priority. They've been added to the Category A, and they and another IPPs, they received about 620 million Ghana cedis. The remaining 334 million, 0.8 million Ghana cedis was paid to state-owned enterprises, in fact, the level B. And the good news, again, is that there were no arrears, KMJ.
I see. Interesting. There's 1.44 billion, which happens to be August 2023 and March 2024. Can we get some clarification on that too as well?
Can you come again on that one?
No, I'm asking about the 1.44 billion. Can we get any clarification on that as well? So that is August 2023 to March 2024.
Oh, okay. You are talking about under the cash waterfall mechanism, there is an important player, an important, aspect, which is what we call the energy sector shortfalls. Okay. Which comes as a result of forest losses and other things. And this year, we anticipate that the energy sector shortfalls will be about 23 billion Ghana cedis. And in the wisdom of the cash waterfall mechanism, developers, they decided to bring on board, or let me not even say decided to bring on board, the finance ministry is responsible for making all top-up payments. So if ECG collects a certain revenue and there are arrears or there's a gap between what they collect and what they're supposed to pay, what happens is that the finance ministry must come in to make that payment. And according to all the PRC report that we have reviewed as the Joy News Research Desk, the finance ministry has not, since August 2023, has not made any of the top-up payments. And if you add all of the top-up payment they are supposed to make under the cash waterfall mechanism, that's what you get, at 1.44 billion Ghana cedis. So in essence, the finance ministry is owing 1.44 billion Ghana cedis under the cash waterfall that they are supposed to pay to usually some selected level B sector players under the cash waterfall. And in fact, these payments or these top-up payments from the finance ministry are what's supposed to be used to help us in purchasing fuel and then also making sure that the energy sector doesn't accrue debt over time. The energy sector, according to the IMF, is one sector that generates a lot of debt. If you leave it just like that, it can generate about $2 billion of debt every year. It's actually a debt-making machine. That's why, in terms of the structural performance under the IMF program, it is earmarked as one of the sectors that we need to put a lot of attention on. The IMF doesn't want any arrears to be accumulated. They don't want any further debt. That's why the Finance Ministry must come in to do those top-up payments. But we understand the Finance Ministry itself is, doesn't have the fiscal space there. They usually will fall on the T-bill market, the bonds market, both locally and in the international fund market. But now they've been kicked out of that market. They've collapsed the bonds market here by doing the DDP. So only fund available to them is the Treasury bill market, which is now shallow because of the dwindling interest rate. People are no longer going there because it's no longer attractive like it used to be 4 or 3 months ago. So the Finance Ministry is constrained, and according to the PRC, since August 2023, they've not made all the top-up payments that they are supposed to do under the cash waterfall mechanism, and that gives you a total figure of 1.44 billion Ghana cedis. If they do the payment, you should be sure that possibly the doomsday we see will go down a bit.
Interestingly, I'm not sure about the payments with regards to the background you're giving us in terms of the finance minister and where they're supposed, the finance ministry, and where they're supposed to collect those monies from to ensure these debts are paid. But by way of projections, do we see us maintaining what we have seen right now in the next 3 or 4 months, or even by the end of the year, or it's something that we may probably even hit a decline?
Well, looking at the data, very good trajectory for ECG in terms of their revenue growth. If they are able to still maintain revenues about 1 billion Ghana cedis, this will be good news for them. But the challenge is the exchange rate, because I keep saying that ECG and all the other players generate the power we consume in dollars. Majority is actually done in dollars. They buy fuel in dollars, they buy equipment in dollars, and in fact, fuel cost alone, I'm talking about to power the thermal plants, about the cost for 2024 is about $1.14 billion. That tells you the quantum of money we need to just buy fuel to power, a thermal plant. And the fact that we have to even pay WAPCO $4 million in this very validation report, that tells you that forex losses will be key going forward. We've had the cedi moving from 11 cedis at 89 pesos at the beginning of the year to now 14 cedis, 80 pesos at the retail level. Some are even quoting 15 cedis. So when it's time for ECG to convert a portion of the revenue they collect to that mandatory $43 million they have to pay to IPPs every month, that tells you that a chunk of the revenue ECG collects can only go into the payments of IPPs. And that becomes problematic. When it happens that way, it means that less will be left to be paid to other sector players. And definitely when that happens, arrears will be accumulated.
Very well. Kofi, thanks for making time for us this morning. We appreciate you.
Thanks for having me, KMJ.
Great. And that's Isaac Kofi Eche. He's with the Data Research Desk here at the Multimedia Group. Joining us, speaking to us on the issue. Honorable, maybe you wrap up on that.
Yeah, very well. So it showed clearly that if Ministry of Finance were able to raise that 1.44 billion Ghana cedis to support ECG, they should be able to break even. And then this debt that do accumulate at the energy sector will be a way for us to get control of our power supply. That will actually elevate or to remove the idumso that we normally see. So it's good news. They should try and put. He made a critical point. That is the exchange rate, of which if you look at what we pay to the West Africa Pipeline project or supply of gas to this turbine power producers, you clearly see that the more the city gets weakened, then the government or the energy sector will need more money to be able to pay them. So the Ministry of Finance and the Bank of Ghana is working seriously to make sure that our city becomes stronger as it is now. So they are working on it. My brother just made mention that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia have said that the economy and the challenges that we are facing, the crisis we are facing in the economy, and its management is not just like a confirmed economy where we allow our confirm to flow to Burkina Faso. And he was, yes, I think, and at the point in time he said, yes, we were in Parliament and we at times make approvals of bonds like 5 million euro bonds. We make 3 million. Yes, we have even made $35,000 bond in Parliament before. But if you are saying this, then of course we shouldn't allow a confirm, even if it is $1,000 a confirm, we should be able to protect it. We should, the fact that nobody was prosecuted on this confirm issue, the fact that when the oil money was used to brand Metro Mass buses space that could be sold to advertisers to make money for the company, we rather use government money, the oil money, to brand those buses. And nobody was prosecuted. Does not mean that it is a good thing that we shouldn't talk about. We should warn Ghanaians that this man that wants to come back has been there before. And when he came to power, these are some of the things that he did. Some, yes, are in court, some have been jailed, but still, there are some that we need to remind Ghanaians that this is what he did, that the LRJ issue, these computers and the laptops thing that he brought into this country that worked for only 2 weeks and took a lot of money away. We say we shouldn't talk about it. We should keep on reminding Ghanaians that this is just what this man did. So while he's asking for your vote, be careful. Think about these things before you vote for him. Yes, we agree that because of the HIPIC that brought our growth from 7.8% to 0.4%, we are going back today. Yesterday, I was listening to your sister station, Joy FM. They said we have gotten 1 trillion CD markets in this country. And it's good news because at a point in time, the growth of the economy was 0.4%, just to 2020. And within a short time, we've gone up to 3 point something, and we are getting about $1 trillion market. I think it is not bad.
Okay.
Except that the exchange rate is dragging us, and listening to what the finance minister and the Bank of Ghana, the measures they've put in place. You see, these are short-term measures, but the long-term measure is that we should try to produce most of the thing we use in this country within the country. And when that is done, for instance, Dr. Bawumia has promised that when he can, we make sure that we generate solar, at least 2,000 megawatts solar. Our peak demand is around 3,800, 4,000 megawatts. So if 50% of it is through solar, as I listened to your research person from the desk, he clearly said that we are paying about $4 million to the West Africa pipeline so that we can get gas to power our turbines. But if we are having 50% of that being solar, then of course we are going to, we halfway solved. Okay. So it is important we remind Ghanaians so that they will not go and bring this man back on our neck again. A man who said that if I have 2 billion Ghana cedis, I will not waste it on education. And Nana Akufo-Addo said, no, when you spend money on children's education, you are not wasting it. It's an investment that the next 10 years, you see what these free senior high school students will come and do in this country.
Honorable Arunche.
Yes, interesting reactions. And you see, I said that I am surprised that Bawumia is still doing policies or politics that he did it 80 years ago. I was even advising him, even if I become his chief advisor, it's better than some of you, because if I were him, I would not let him be repeating a confirmed politics now. What I would tell Bawumia is that he should tell the people the policies, that he has got.
It's hitting them. It's hitting them badly. If in campaign, when somebody make a campaign
you were
message
talking, I was
and
quiet.
it is hitting you
Okay, we have agreed.
You can't keep quiet.
Okay.
So we keep reminding Ghanaians that this is what your man did.
Yes, I have agreed.
So Ghanaians shouldn't vote for him again.
You still have the floor, so go ahead.
You see, the same RLG that they say we brought in to bring this is the same RLG they've gone to give the supplies of all the laptops to teachers. The laptops, what do you call them?
It's not true. Don't go there. It's not true.
Mark this thing down.
It's not true.
You know today's date, and you know the time. Write it down. It is the same RLG. Do you know the RLG?
Managed by the same people?
No. That has been by the same person that has imported, or including the tablets. The tablets for the RLG people code. You have even given sole sourcing.
It's not true.
You pay after this, I'll show you.
Yes.
Now he's talking about Bas Brandon. You know, I've mentioned it, but I have to repeat it. If we did that and we voted out, so don't even go nearer there. If a snake bites your child and then the child dies, you give birth to another one. Don't let the child even be looking at a rope. You pump 58 million Ghana cedis into a hole. Some of these men were taken at the back door of Parliament. Ajapa, $12 million. Listen to me, Palugu, you've just seen this thing. $12 million. Skytrain, Motor Angel, those who were to do the motorway, $2 million. I can go on and on. What we are simply saying, look, I am for the fact that if John Mahama did it wrong and you did it wrong, those who are in charge should be punished for that. But if for 8 years, you are still going back, then you cannot punish, and you keep repeating this, you are boring to the listener, and you're also boring to the electorate. And from there,
you don't want us to be boring to the listener?
And then let me tell you.
Win. It's hitting you.
So let us lose the election.
Yes.
So we'll keep on now saying, we are helping you. Are we not helping you?
We don't need your help.
Now, he talked about the energy losses in transmission, which is true. And the losses by PURC is 34% of energy transmitted. And 23%, that man, the cost of it is given to you and I to pay. So in other words, ECG does not even pay for the, for the transmission losses. We pay in the way we buy our bills. Just like, you see, when the bulk oil company and transmits oil through the tankers to the OMC and whatnot, we pay for the transportation cost by the fuel that we buy. There is a margin for you and I to pay for the transportation cost, you understand? So in other words, ECG does not even make this. But how did we come to this stage where ECG is now saying that they've been allowed to mobilize even up to $1 billion and so on? The government is about, even the explanation of your Isaac is owing $1.4 billion. They've not paid since August last year.
1.44.
1.44, which is barely about $100 million. Is that not it? That's barely about $100 million.
Yeah.
And yet the independent power producers, they are still own $1.5 billion. Not cedis. How did we get here? What they mobilized us at general was $850 million, which was converted to be about $60 million as at the time, because when you remove the depreciation CD, and they paid the $40 billion and distributed among the 7 independent power producers. Where are we now? The cash waterfalls, remember it was brought by the NDC. It is under the ESLA. It was a policy.
It was implemented in 2020.
Yes, it was implemented in that. Yeah, so it's good. Then it is under the direct distribution of the vice president, who is saying that he wants to bring 2,000 megawatts of what do you call it? Solar. If the energy sector is under you have not been able to surmount the challenges. Is this solar that never was? Or that is not in that you are going to bring in? This tells you the desperate way with which the vice president wants to win power at all costs. And like I told you at the beginning, one of the most scam things we've done was to vote President Akufo-Addo and Bawumia into power. Every sector is collapsed. Cocoa. Look at the SML deal. Look at all the deals. Everything has been collapsed. And people will be shocked. The forensic audit, we are going to do sector by sector. agency by agency. You see how monies are vanishing to this country. I am worried that my good friend, who has been in parliament with me all along, would come and be defending this thing. Whether NDC or not, any dollar, any city that is picked from the coffers of this country sends a dire situation to Ghanaians in this country. And we must be worried people. It is not because it has done that. John Mahama is coming back because you fail your promises. He's coming back as an innovative thinker, as an experienced president, not a driver's mate. He's coming back to ensure that where he left, he was so visionary that even after he had soared up, he had built the energy sector. When you took it from all the governments are doing so, and he increased it to over 4,900 megawatts, he still left ESLA for you to pay legacy debt. What did you use the ESLA for?
That we used it to pay the debt you left behind.
What did you use the ESLA for? Huh? What did you use the ESLA for? You paid the debt, and our books are still choked with debt.
So that
you can't pay independent power producers.
You can get
you cannot import crude.
The Dumso you left. We used ESLA money to pay as a collateral for money so that we can pay.
The IMF is telling us that the
behind.
danger to our economy today is not COVID. It's not Ukraine war, but the energy sector debt, which is 12 billion. Please, allow me to talk and write it. I think you have a pen. You even heard it from the Isaac guy who talked about the fact that it's a sector that is accumulating debt. Is that not what he said? Yeah. And the IMF is worried. Their own document they authored in 2018, energy sector regulatory program said that the energy sector is owing $12 billion. And that is the most critical. That's what the IMF is talking about. I didn't write this. You wrote it. It was laid in Parliament. It was laid there. I didn't write these things. The energy sector debt, if you paid, how did you accumulate 12 billion, my brother? How are the independent power producers owing 1.5 billion? Where did it go? Look at the sharing of shares in PDS to your friends and family. We lost money from the Millennium Challenge Compact 2 and Compact 3. They've withdrawn their support from us because of stealing, corruption, mismanagement, recklessness in the energy sector. Must you be happy? You haven't benefited from it. Then you wear smoke and come this morning and you are defending the wrong thing. How do we move forward as a country? Have you benefited from it? Not. I have not also benefited from it.
When they were stealing money, you were also in parliament,
so did
you benefit from it? When your government was stealing left.
For me, the energy sector became a conduit for stealing. When they came and saw, oh, is that what the NDC said? Then they began putting a well-rehearsed agenda at the energy sector to steal, and they continue to do that up to today. PDS, a foreign company, has come to take over 1.3 billion of our revenue. You haven't chased for it. You haven't done that. So if today PURC is saying that the electricity company is following the cash waterfall mechanism to ensure that independent power producers, it's because of the pressure we brought on them. Because the doomsday itself that people are feeling today, that has destroyed businesses, that has made people's life difficult, and so on. Hospitals' lives have been cut off and so on. When people were on sick bed, it's what that has brought the pressure on them. Why is the Minister for Finance not releasing the 1.4, which I told you that is just about $100 million when you do the conversion and so on? And yet, that is just a microcosm, just a small percentage of what we own the independent power producers. And he talked about the category A. The category A is that we owe Grico. We owe the category P. We owe Grico. We owe also, Akosombo, Buidam, and other. But because this one belongs to government, sometimes, government institutions, they can postpone the debt while they deal with the independent power producers, and so that the doomsday issue will be reduced. So for me, if they allow the institutions to work as they are working, go by what we handed over to you, wouldn't have been here. ESLA alone gave them 30 billion Ghana cedis, my brother. This could have cleared every debt. They came in and extended it, went and then used it to borrow. As you said this morning, if we had done that, don't be doing so. If we had been able to generate 4 4,900 megawatts, my brother, and our peak demand is 3,000. We still have a lot. Why don't you come? What did you say? Oh, take or pay, take or pay, take or pay. That was the song. Every morning, take or pay, take or pay, take or in Parliament. Even they were so dishonest that even members of you people who were in the energy sector were so talking about take or pay. When you know that the annual demand is about 10% increment for the annual demand, which we must continue with this 10% of total capacity, so that we reach a total of 250 megawatts. That means that every year we need 250 megawatts to add on to. What happened to that Mary deal? I'm telling you how they've dissipated the energy sector. Look at that Mary. Today, as we talk, any oil has moved out. Any energy has moved out. The European Union company has moved out. Halliburton, an energy sector company owned by Dick Cheney, the former vice president of the United States, has moved out. That's a big Halliburton, is a big energy sector player. Any oil to say any energy is a big sector player. They've all moved out. Okay. So when we say this, we are saying that with facts. We are not against institutions like the ECG mobilizing to pay. When we are saying that we, the customer, do you know that we do pay? Because we go and buy prepaid. So I have no business getting doing so because I pay. You pay. You yourself, you pay because we buy prepaid. How come that I'm getting doing so? And those that who have courses are having generators. They have generators, 24-hour generators in their homes. And so on. Okay. So when these things come, one good governor, let's talk about them, my brother. Don't be saying that we've done it. No, we've gone past that 7 years down the line. You cannot be blaming a government that handed over to you. John Mahama is coming, just like Trump. Trump is coming back. Lula the government was again. All right.
When they were making about $9 million a month from this American or take or pay thing, you did not benefit. Yet this
let me get some messages. Let me get some messages.
Not benefit.
This one says, good morning. Joy Prime is undoubtedly the second most listened morning shows, therefore must raise the bar far beyond Baumia and its NPP weak and shameless infantile politics. I wish to sponsor economic debate between Madam Kwadonko and Mahmoud Baumia for Ghanaians to really know how much Ghana politics has sunk. Walter in Cape Coast sent in that one. This one says, Mr. Host, good morning. Ghanaians are wise now. No Ramadan's family in this NPP will come and defend because they are chopping this. All Godfrey Dame, GRA, SML, Slide Train, 2 million, Paulugu Dam, 12 million, Al Jazeera, PDS, $190 million, COVID-19 chop, Japan deal, National Cathedral, Frontiers at airport, 8 Ghanaians killed in 2020. Let this government to power. Mr. Host, please, any day this NPP communicators come, first give them Lepton or cafe because the 200 GH can buy it. Yesterday, my family called me light off in Manfi 3 times. Moses from Nigeria, please. Okay, we've done that, Moses. Anyway, and this one over here says, Akonsi Gariba from Tamale says, good morning, KMJ. Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Baumia had outlined his vision for the country, and the few of them are to enhance fiscal discipline, to enhance fiscal educational system towards STEM, robotics and AI, to introduce flat tax regime and tax amnesty. Can Mr. Timothy also tell Ghanaians the vision of this party? The NDC lacks the vision to come back to power again after poor performance when they were given the opportunity to govern. BMW is possible on the 7th of December 2024. All right, let me go to the other one over here. This one says, good morning, KMJ. And your panel, good morning to incoming President JDM and Dr. Grace Ayensu Dankwa, incoming MP for Sikado Katan constituency. Thank you for your kindness and support for the victims of Injurasie, next fire explosion. Albert and Kojo Krum and Sikado Katan sent in that one. Another one of the years says, in fact, if God doesn't intervene between us Ghanaians and the NPP to kick them out of the power, seriously, hell would be a better place to stay than to stay in Ghana with this daylight robbery and theft. Honorable Siba Al-Hassan, Zongo Kakos coordinator, Lower Manya constituency, with that. Now, Sami Boache, as man Kese, that's where he is, actually says, only Dr. Baumia that we know and no other person, and by the grace of God, the good people of Ghana will look at the good work of Nana Baumia and vote massively for Dr. Baumia to take us to the next level and to protect the free SHS, and it is possible to let's do it together. Regards to Honorable Chance Champion, the MP for Asman Kese, head Frank Sienu, okay, Potosia. the next one, MP. All right, let me go to the next one over here, which says, that's a very long one, by the way. Mensa Majid from Bechem, Toronto says, in fact, MPP National Executive should coach Dr. Bawumia well before he talks in public. Is he aware that the unemployment rate has doubled under his reckless administration? Napo is still deceiving him not to accept the fact that Dumsor is back, but Ghanaians are not blind to see whether Dumsor is back or not. Again, our debt keeps on increasing from 120 billion under NDC to 658.6 billion under NPP. Now, this country is in deep ditch, spending unreasonably on SkyTrain and Cathedral, and they still want reasonable Ghanaians to vote for them. And never. My regards to Honorable Charles Akwesi Asiedu, incoming workaholic MP for Tano South constituency. Now, Honorable Akesime in the Seshibekwa says, to the MPP, the current economic hardship is a major concern for Ghanaians. The rising cost of living, high unemployment, and unstable economic conditions are affecting many families. If you don't address these issues and provide a tangible solution, it will be a decisive factor in the 2024 election. Now, the people will hold you accountable for your promises and actions. The writing is on the wall. If you don't change course, you will face a resounding defeat at the polls. The people demand a better economic management and the brighter future for Ghana. Regards to CEO of A&A Drinking Water, Master JE inside Seshubekwai. And that's from Honorable Akesme in Seshubekwai. Honorable Akesme, good morning to you. How are you doing, bro? Another one of you says, I can run a government with 50 ministers and also introduce a simple and flexible tax system in Ghana. Dr. Bawumia at 8th Ghana CEO Summit. Indeed, DMB is the generational thinker. It is possible. Abdulaziz Jimbani says, Joy TV neighbor Kokomlemli sent it. That one. Let me see if we can get a few others and then we'll move on. Good morning. Okay. I'm very, but we're not too sure what exactly you're very about. It says this morning about the NPP communicator in our studio defending undefendable things in this incompetent Nana Bawumia government. I'm sad. So he would go to church every Sunday to pray for forgiveness and still come home to defend the Nana Bawumia government. Sad. And Nana Jedu Jaman South Drombo sent in that one from Drombo. Okay. This one says, good morning, Joy Prime. This Nana Bawumia government must be booted out and wiped up from our political books after wasting huge monies on SkyTrain, $2 million, Paulugu Dam, $12 million, Nanado Cathedral Pet, 58 point, I think I've read this. I think I've done something similar to this, if not the exact one. Now, good morning, KMJ. This is Chef K. Anyway, I don't know how you guys want to call me anymore. Please, the NPP communicator should stop insulting our intelligence with this equalization, because that is why we voted against the NDC in 2016. But when the NPP had power, NPP has destroyed everything, every economy, including my insurance industry. They are not paying us our life insurance premium deducted from civil servants who took individual life policies. It is a must that my NPP go out of power. Nana Kwesi Odami in the name sent in that. Very well. Let me see what I can do with this, and then we'll move on. Good morning to all. Enjoy Prime, especially fantastic Rosalind. My people were not in this country when Bawumia and the NPP said we don't infrastructure. Ghanaians don't eat roads. Okay, we don't eat infrastructure, and Ghanaians don't eat roads. Today, Bawumia wants us to clap hands for him for building what we can't even see. Or now, it's infrastructure. Samira Bawumia always sent to Malam Atta Market to buy tomatoes. Ghanaians are worse off under the useless, corrupt, reckless, and family business government. We can't wait to be blessed once again with the experience and listening President JM with John and Jane. If not for nothing, our security is secured. Master Rahman Tuna in Saula Tuna Carver sent in that. All right, very well. This segment is proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise, and we're entreating you to buy your electronic gadgets from Franco Trading Enterprise. If you want phones and all the types that you want, if you want a Nokia, if you want iPhone, if you want Samsung, you can get them at Franco Trading Enterprise. Of course, you need to monitor your house, you need to monitor your office if you're not going to be there all the time. And you can monitor anytime, anywhere, and it's pretty simple. All you need to do is to buy one of our CCTV cameras, and you're good to go. Don't forget, you can call us on 0555-939-311, and please do not pick any number to speak to on the social media. Call the numbers that we're giving you as on your screens as well. And our app is also there, Google Play Store. You can download Franco Trading app and you're good to go. Our website is www.francotrading.com, and you can have Franco Trading in your hands. It's pretty simple. Now, Ghana make hard pass, so everybody wants to value for their hard-earned money. And when it comes to tomato mix, value for money actually means consistent and rich red color that doesn't color your meat or fish, thick paste that gives you desired quantity for soup and stew. Now, good tomato flavor that gives that consistent and unique taste to all your dishes. You can actually rely on Tasty Tom and rich tomato mix for all these. And that is why we say a tomato mix, tomato mix papa pan. No color changing like traffic light. They be a come out. Taste, no, so there. It's always on point because Tasty Tom is don't compromise on quality. Top Papano at once. Choose Tasty Tom and rich tomato mix and get value for money. You stand a chance of winning amazing prizes from Tasty Tom during the phoning sections on Drive Time on Joy as well. All you need is to just tune in and prepare. You tell us how you can prepare your favorite Tasty Tom and rich tomato mix, and you're good to go. And this actually promises to be exciting, so be a part of it. Now let's move on to our next conversation. And it has to do with the former president who has been speaking on the issue of perennial floods. You know that the floods have come and they are causing a lot of havoc already, and we're not even done yet. But he believes that the management by the NPP government has not really helped in solving some of these issues. He even mentioned the issue of the $200 million that was used in training door, and also an approval of $150 million that Parliament is looking forward to giving to support this perennial floods that we have. He says that the NDC, if voted into power, will use engineering solutions in attacking these issues. And I'm not sure Honorable Aipe will be excited about that.
Well, at times when we listen to some of these things, ask yourself, was it not the same man who was in power when there was flood in Circle?
Maybe he did the 4 years. If he had done the 8 years,
he died. Probably. Where was this technology? Why that he did not use that technology to solve it? Flooding in the whole world, including Africa and Ghana, is caused by many, many factors. This includes the way we build haphazardly across river drains and the ways of where river and streams flows. So it is very important we look at it from that angle. Yes, this morning I was listening to your sister station, Joy FM. They were talking about the fact that people will go and desal the Odo lagoon at close to the sea, and then we allow rubbish to
flow in back again
into it again. So the most important thing for us to see how best we can solve the problem at the source of where people throw rubbish into the drains, and it's good to choke at the end, preventing the water from entering the sea or going into the lagoon. So these are issues that we must look at. Concerning the money that was provided by the World Bank, the former vice president talk as if he has never been in government before, as if he has never been president before. There's no way World Bank will throw their money to you, especially an amount of $200 million to you, and they will sit folding their arms, will not monitoring and make sure that you use what the money is actually meant for. So when it comes out to talk like this, some of us ask ourselves, why? Because IMF at the point, World Bank, both World Bank and IMF will be monitoring and making sure that any money that they bring into your economy, you tell them what you are going to use the money for. They monitor, they have their representatives in Ghana. If you misapply the money, the next tranche will never be given to you. That's even more reason why they don't give all the money to you. They make release of the funds in tranches. So the first tranche will come, they'll monitor it. If they know you make proper application, it is making the needed reason why the money is released to you. Before the next release will be made, your report will be sent to IMF and the World Bank. Their reps in Ghana will also monitor and make sure that we've awarded this contract. At times, they even have project consultants who will be looking and consulting the project for them. So it's not that they go and give you the money and go and sit back. So at times when members of parliament who are members of committee of works and housing and other sectors, like my brother just said, he's been in parliament for some years, and he come and say that money has been given and he doesn't know what the money is being used for. Every morning when you go to parliament as an MP, the other paper will be given to you. Some of the journalists who are at the parliamentary press corps will also receive the other paper. Any loan that approved is stated in the other paper. What the money is going to be used for is stated in there before the approval is made. There's a committee which is being financed by parliament to go and find out what we came for the money and what the money has been used for. That is why the Palugu issue has come in, because there's a committee that is monitoring. You don't just approve the money and go and sleep. I was the chairman for Roads and Transport Committee when this referral was made. I'm talking about the Palugu Dam to both transport, roads transport, and the Ministry of the Committee of Energy, Mines and Energy. We look for this project to be approved. And at the point in time, I left Parliament before the project was started. But there's a committee that should go and find out whether the contractor has moved to site. What did the members of Parliament did? Did they report to Parliament and Ghanaians that the contractor is not on site? Should the Public Accounts Committee or the Auditor General report before members of Parliament to go and find out whether the contractor is on site or not? These are things that MPs must do.
In the case of Odo, did we see all that happening?
Come again.
In the case of Odo, did we see all this happen?
We didn't. That is until how do you call it? The auditor report comes to Parliament before they started making noise about it. It is important as members of Parliament, when we approve such projects, we follow up. I quite remember some time ago when we were completing the Terminal 3 in airport. As a chairman of the committee, at times I went there alone. On 2 occasions, I went there. I went to stand at the airport looking at how construction is done. It's not without asking anybody's questions. So when the Ghana Airport Company contractor appeared before Parliament, I was able to ask questions.
Exactly. You've seen the progress and all that.
Yeah, I've seen the project. Even when they started recruiting, a friend told me that you use 6 hours from Heathrow to Kotoka Terminal 3, and he used 2 hours to get out from Terminal 3 to the car park. So I went there when, how do you call it, BA.
Okay.
Yes, I went. I know the schedules of BA. So I went there when BA came. I was at the arrival hall. I timed my watch, and indeed, it was almost 2 hours. So I quickly wrote to contacted my ranking member. We wrote to Ghana Airport Company. That was Ministry of Aviation. The chief director, the minister came, and we asked them. They were trying to do. I said, no, I went there myself. I timed my watch, and it was 1 hour 45 minutes before the first passenger came out. And they were blaming the luggage. So no, they have to do something about it. So as committee, as Parliament, we must help this system, the system to operate very well. So if you're a member of Parliament and you approve $200 million to Ministry of Works and Housing, an amount from World Bank has been monitoring the project. You've seen contract that has been done. Then you say you are speaking on a contractor on phone. What shows that the person that you spoke to may not even be the contractor? What prevented you from writing to World Bank and said, are you giving this money? You'll be monitoring the project. We know A and B has been done. Why can't you invite the Minister for Works and Housing to come and show? The minister was holding a list of projects that have been done under the project. I'm talking about the disbursement of that 200 million previous payment. They say, come and have a look at it. This is what prevented the minority from getting that list and go and find out whether those projects had been done or not, other than relying on a phone call that you made to a contractor who may not be a contractor who had been awarded the project on that area. So it is important the vice president, those who are former president, those who have been briefing him, as a candidate, a presidential candidate or a flag bearer of a party, you normally rely on his ranking members, that is spokespersons on various
information.
Yes, to pick such information. So when he receives such information, he should contact his men on the ground to at least also find out whether every constituency, 275 constituencies, has reps or parliamentary candidates across the constituency. Let them find out from you whether indeed the information you receive from your spokesperson are facts before you come out and talk about it. Because if you tell me you are going to use technology or whatever new science to take rid of flood, you've been president before. You know what happened. That doesn't mean that we shouldn't do something about it. That is why the World Bank is helping Ghana to desilt our drains before the rain starts. I admit that indeed some of the desilting has been a bit late because we had information from METI
that long time
that this year's rains are going to be heavy. So we're expecting the Ministry of Works and Housing to start this long before the rain starts. And I know when there's an economic crisis, as we are facing now, it affects every sector. At times, the prompt release of funds to take care of some of these project delays, because there may not be enough money to take care of those things.
Okay.
So it is important. I don't know whether this Palugu thing, we are going to discuss it as one of our main topics. I'll chip it in and pass some few comments.
Okay, so maybe we'll use that to wrap up, our comments. Well. So make Honorable also have his time, and then we'll...
You see...
And tell NDCs, they are fan of not coming to studio with pen. I don't know whether they've been so poor that they can't even...
I didn't see that one coming.
Oh, no. And he's not the only person. Anytime, of late, anytime you come, they come with you on studio, they still, you don't even ask.
When you're making your submission,
they steal your pen. I'm busy talking, then they come and steal your pen.
The other time I gave him 2 pens, blue and red.
You gave it to me.
Yeah,
you've forgotten the person.
It was you, but
it's not expensive to
debate on anything. Now let's move on.
It's not expensive to buy pen. I don't know. That is why I want to come to power. You don't have money to buy
most
pen.
of these loans pass through Parliament. Listen to me carefully, and listeners should listen to me. It is equally true that Parliament is supposed to do the oversight inspection like it did. But is that it? The Qatar port.
Yeah.
That never was. Didn't Parliament go there? Thank you, my brother. Thank you for saving me from the elephant.
So, my production team has been kind enough. They've given Honorable our team at least for us to all be okay with this situation.
Didn't the Parliament now, that under yoga, you say you set up the Qatar port, that there's no Qatar, but only a sandboard that is there. Haven't your members of Parliament gone?
He doesn't know the difference between port and harbour. Port. There's a difference between port.
So you're right.
That is why
you also have it.
That is why they say port and harbour.
We will not be able to deal with the other issue.
Your pen has been given to you. You see, the 200 million from the World Bank he's talking about, and that World Bank money comes in tranches. It's not wholly true. They come in tranches when they are tied to conditionalities to resolve a matter. So, for instance, as at now, the 3 billion that we are looking from the IMF, they are coming in tranches because they want to resolve the economic junk status of us. Do you understand? So, like, they're giving you, if you reach this point, then we'll give you, if you read that is how it is done. Are you with me?
Yeah.
It's just like you go to the bank, say, I want a loan of 100,000 to build a house. You've justified that. You've taken it. You go and you buy a car. The problem of the bank is not about whether you do, but would you pay? They'll follow you to pay the money. That's how the World Bank. Oh, please, I beg you. There's no time.
Let him finish.
But moderator, correct him. He's leading. He's doing that. World Bank is not like a commercial bank where they give you the money. Even some commercial banks, some commercial banks, they will not just give you the loan and ask you to go. At times they give you a consultant, somebody to help you manage your own business.
He also mentioned that when it's attached
to a condition,
like conditionality.
You understand? I've explained.
Let him.
At times,
I want to tell you, I want to add a pen to him, right? You know, when it is tied to fulfilling certain condition precedent and post, so they'll give you $300 million after you've reached a stage. That is why when they come with their report, they say that they say they are satisfied with what we have used the money. They are satisfied because you are following their prescription. It's like you are sick, you go to a doctor. The doctor will tell you that this drug, you take it at 6 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and that the time is given. That's a prescription. That's under conditions. But if you go and buy your drugs and you think you can be taking them, who cares? The World Bank has given money to individuals before. Don't you know that? That the World Bank has loaned money to one individual before. Don't you know that? That is it. So, that is it. And this 200 million, you know what they did? They've taken $65 million to put into the COVID funds. If indeed the World Bank and Parliament is supervising, how come you did that? you violated the Public Financial Management Act. You went and gave $65 million from this money that's supposed to do into COVID so that they can pass behind and steal. You see how they steal? They're very interesting way of stealing.
The way back, look at them.
It's
not possible.
Let me finish.
That's not the eyes of the people.
Let me finish. This
But you can't be allowed to.
This is from Parliament.
You're listening.
This is from Parliament.
Honorable,
I didn't do
what was the
source of this information that you are giving out?
To steal.
Why is the source
How
of
is that?
information?
Because it was meant for
the
specific projects, so-
COVID, they had already taken World Bank $1 billion.
That is different.
That is for
I'm
COVID.
saying that.
World
That is
Bank
different.
gave
This
money
one's
for
meant for
COVID,
specific purpose.
specifically
That
for
was-
COVID.
that was
you
COVID
stop
money.
him? Please,
No,
allow me to make my point.
But you are misleading your
So if
listeners.
I'm misleading, then you go and find, and next one will come and prove me wrong. Is that not what
Why your source? What's the source of information?
Go.
said Parliament. Go
Parliament
to
of what? Parliament
press
of what?
conference on this.
Minority press conference is your source.
No, honorable, don't worry. Go ahead.
Led by Honorable Attoforson is your source. My brother.
This is Parliament that
Take your
approved the
pen.
200 million. And they've seen the disbursement. You are sitting here, you don't know that when disbursement comes, you are the one who told us about the money comes to Parliament and we approve it. Is that not the one who said it? I am now pinpointing to you, I've gone haywire. Allow me to do it, my brother. I didn't get up 4 a.m. to come here because of that. You know this before. I told you that. So you write it down. That's when I told you that. This is the biggest scam of government to ever rule this country. You remember when power, you were there. When they were shouting about Conti money, 500 million has been brought to do the drains in Accra. I asked him. You remember when the June 3rd floods
issue happened?
And then Ibrahim Mahama, engineers and planner, was draining this thing. They said that it was a contract given to Ibrahim Mahama. Ibrahim Mahama said he was skillful because you need skill. And that work on the Odo River, no contractor, no Ghanaian contractor can do. You need skill to do it. He was doing it free of charge. They made noise, they removed. You came to power. Why is the Conti $500 million? Why is the Conti?
He was using government equipment.
Please, no. He only put his... you know when you must insure the tracks. Please.
He took money from government to buy fuel.
Please, no.
He used the equipment was
put the engineers.
to the Ministry
he's distorting me. I have a lot to say.
Honorable, let him finish.
I have a lot to say. You know, when you are using a Kuma, you must insure them. So engineers and pliers went and insured and put their sticker on the car. That's all.
On what car?
On the equipment.
Tracks.
That was for government.
That's what I'm saying. That because he's using.
So there was a government
you cannot
support,
use. No.
Yeah.
You cannot use.
So when you use the
tracks
government,
you may not have paid for
insuring them.
workmanship.
That is
There was
it.
a
That is it.
government
Now
support.
listen to me. Now
And
listen to. Oh,
the
please
machine
allow
after
me.
using them.
The president, Nana Danko Akufo-Addo, came and said that he wants to make Accra the cleanest city in the whole of Africa.
You are switching the post.
And so he decoupled the Ministry of Sanitation from the Ministry of Works and Housing. Is that not it? And gave a full minister to it. When we got up in them, we heard that the minister said he had given over 43 million to drain Odo River. Before we could say Jack, some of the monies were found in her bedroom.
In whose bedroom?
In Cecilia Dapa's bedroom.
Which money?
Yes.
The $43 million he said that he was to use to...
The case
Please,
is still
allow me to
But the case is still in court.
So if the case is in court, you are
come
not part of it. You are not part of it. It's me.
No, but you are using his platform.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. The joint effective.
Honorable,
Please.
no, did we factually prove that those
So
monies came from
where did the
monies
woman
from
get the
River?
millions of dollars
And he said it was part of that money.
No, but
That's supposed to be used.
She was in charge of public money and resources. She told us that over $40 million was given to use to drain Odo River. Today,
No, but we don't have any fact.
so
that
I've said
states
it.
that,
But I've
you know,
said it.
those money came from
Joy
there,
FM is
But
moving
no,
on. Please,
no,
please.
but it is
Anyway, by the way, my time is up.
He has-
We
he
have
has
to be
been
going.
distorting me.
See,
And John
you
Mahama
can't have the
said that he's
conversation.
going- Yeah,
the
is
two
it
of
me?
you, really.
No, you don't do that.
No,
KMK.
but
You
no,
don't.
you have been nice.
I've been
I must
quiet
admit.
throughout, and every moment he's tried to stop.
So let me give you 1 minute for you to wrap up for me.
You see, John Mahama is saying that we use engineering. And my brother talked about the floods all over the world, which is true, but they do not come annually or perennially. We can be there, we hear that a landslide or flood has hit maybe over the past 10 years or so. Ours is an engineering problem. Yes, John Mahama has been a president before, but he has been a president for only 3 years, 4 months. He has not been there for 8 years. Even if he had engineering solutions.
3 years, 4 months. Do you have a presidential term of 3 years, 4 months in Ghana?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be 4 years, by the way.
He has been there for do you want me to tell you why he has been there for 3 years?
I need not to know. I have a
in our space, 4 years. I mean, that's how you.
That's what I'm saying. You know, I've gone to Parliament. Beyond Parliament, we all know that the tenure is for 4 years.
Exactly.
And I'm saying he has been a president 3 years, 4 months.
So what the 6 months?
So then let me explain.
No, we can't explain that now.
So then why are you challenging me?
Your time is up.
So the issue,
don't really have time for that,
issue is that he's going to use because you need engineering to be able to resolve the matter. My brother have talked about it. The silt. Yes, the silting. Where does it take? We sometimes even the silt. Then the silt comes back. You need proper engineering, even if to cost this country.
When he had
maybe
opportunity,
500.
what did he
When
do?
he had, that's what I'm saying. When he had the opportunity, he built the Terminal 3. He went and inspected.
Okay.
He built to stop the flooding. To stop the flooding. He built
honorable members of parliament.
He built Terminal 3. He built to stop the flooding.
Honorable members of my parliament.
When you had the
unfortunately, we have to adjourn.
He said he built Terminal 3 to stop the flooding.
Is that what I said?
That's what you said.
That you went.
That was the subject.
That'll be our conversation this morning here.
I was asking the question.
Let me do this real quick. So this one says that
The topic for discussion was the flag.
honorable members of parliament, your microphones are all muted. So let me, This one says, happy birthday to Obenewa Mame Abena Nyame Okuto of Brain Hill International School at East Legon. As you turn 5 years today, it's my prayer that the Almighty will keep protecting you and leading you onto the path that He has set before you, and may His blessings keep flowing over you. And that's coming from your daddy and the entire family. And they say, we love you. All right, so it's coming from your dad, of course, our director here on Prime Morning, and he directs a lot of shows here at the multimedia group as well, Samuel Okuto. And so it's going out to you, Mame Abena, Obenewa Mame Abena, Yamiye Okuto. Same, Obane Dimbe Brebe say. All right, so we bless you with the blessings of God. And thanks to my honorable members for joining us this morning here on the show. Oh, no. With all you have done, people have done this morning. No.
Well, that's anyway, good thing I wanted to.
We'll find time and talk about that. I'm really pressed for time. My producers are on my neck. So that'll be our conversation for this morning. Let's say a big thank you to Franco Trading Enterprise for making it possible for us to have this conversation. Please do go and grab something for yourself. Call us 0555-939311 and speak to us. And also go on the app. It's Franco Trading app. And you can also go on our website. It's www.francotrading.com, and you can also get all the info that you need over there. Whether it's phones, it's TVs, it's fridges, it's CCTV cameras that you want to purchase. That's the only place you can go, and you're guaranteed of quality. And so go and get yours now. That's all for now. There's more coming up. Esiedua is standing by with the latest update in the world of trends, and so do stay.
Newsflash was brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Steel, fun papa fie.